Hello, this is James with Minor Illusion, and tonight I will be reviewing for you the Tome of Beasts by Kobold Press, and a few other books that have been recently released by them. This book is wonderful. I read this book, went through it, and every other page I was turning and going, wow, wow, wow. Could not believe what was in here. If you've looked through the Monster Manual for 5th edition D&D, and this is for 5th edition D&D, you'll have noticed that, yes, there is a good selection of monsters in there, but they are roughly what you would expect. They are fairly traditional. They're all necessary, of course, but they are what, if any of your players have played games before, especially other versions of D&D, they've most likely encountered at least half the monsters in there at one point or another. This book is filled with monsters that I have never even heard of, monsters that are unique, and I've been through the monster manuals for several editions of D&D, and there are monsters in here that are not in there. So if your players are jaded, or they're kind of over all these different creatures that you keep throwing at them, or the same kind of goblin, for example, there's a new goblin in here. Same kind of dragon, new dragons in here. Oh, the same kind of fae, new fae in here. This book is filled with new options. One of my favourite parts of it is the new dragons, the Void Dragon, a dragon that traverses the stars. Think Nicobolus from Magic the Gathering. This dragon, the ancient version of this dragon, when it dies, it explodes with the force of a collapsing star, which is absolutely fantastic. There's fae in here, a huge selection of fae, all various kinds. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. Various types of elves, all treated very differently. Some that can shadow walk, various different types of magic involved. My personal favourite, the various lords of the Fae. We have the Bear King, who's the king of bear folk. We have the Lord of the Hunt, the Moonlit King, Queen of Night and Magic, the Queen of Witches, the River King, the Snow Queen. Just all these various different fae, and all of them very interesting and with interesting backstories. This book references the Midgard Setting, which is Kobold Press's default setting, and it is just so interesting. It really, really makes me want to review the Midgard Setting book. I've got the Southlands book, and I'll be reviewing that very soon. But I definitely want to get my hands on the Midgard Setting, because this book constantly has little sidebars saying, well, this creature in Midgard does this or that, and all of it sounds very interesting. This book doesn't come on its own, though, by the way. There is also the Book of Lairs. This book has adventures in it. Now, they're not fully fledged adventures, this isn't an adventure path, but they are little battles, and not so little either, but they're little scenes that you can add into an ongoing campaign. And it has the monster, its lair, what's going on with it, but they can be inserted into whatever is going on in your campaign. They're perfect because a lot of GMs don't like running through a preset adventure from start to finish and pick this battle from that and pick that battle from that. This is perfect for that. It's filled with an entire, different scenes. Let's see, the Alchemist Guild Hall is suitable for 4 to 5 6th level characters. The adventures progress all the way through to top levels, and throughout you just have various creatures scattered out through this book. You have creatures from the original Monster Manual for 5th edition and from the new Tome of Beasts. Beautiful, beautiful full colour art, and what surprised me is once I got to the back of the book, I didn't realise it had this in it. It has fold-out maps from certain adventures inside there. So you can just fold that out as a visual reference for you. It's not to scale, it's not 1 inch square, but it is useful if you're drawing it out. So, Book of Lairs. Definitely recommend it. Moving forward, Kobold Press blew it out of the park with this one, and not only did they produce a new monster book and a book of pre-made adventures, but they also made pawns. These are little cardboard cutouts of various different monsters from the monster book, and all of them very beautifully illustrated, all of them very interesting and extremely easy for you to use. I've been using these, the Pathfinder versions, in my 5th edition games, and they really are so convenient when compared to minis, especially when it comes to storage. So you have all these different dragons, all these different monsters, dinosaurs even, from the new book, and it's just, I love them. These don't come with stands though, that's the one thing. If you do want the stands, you have to buy those from a third party, and the Pathfinder pawn stands fit these perfectly. In fact, these are perfectly up to standard with the Pathfinder pawns, which are high production value, and these are just absolutely beautiful. They are definitely going to withstand a lot of punishment, that's for certain. Now, Kobold Press has not just produced these recently, but they also produced this, the Kobold Guide to Plots and Campaigns. This book is filled with information, useful information. It's got little essays in it by Wolfgang Baur, by Zeb Cook, Jeff Grubb, James Jacobs, Ben McFarlane, just Margaret Weiss, Steve Winter, just to name a few. All of these are on various different things that you as GM will want to focus on in a campaign. One of them is how to run a preset adventure. Now, it tells you, yes, you can run it all the way through. Yes, preset adventures are very good if you're stressed for time, but it also goes through and tells you how to take pieces out of a pre-generated adventure. It is filled with useful information, all of it highly necessary for any GM. Kobold Press, I salute you. You have done a fantastic job with this monster book, and I am very much looking forward to reviewing the Midgard campaign setting and just tying these monsters in, and I will be using them in my next campaign for certain. So this is James with Minor Illusion, and I'm looking forward to my next review.